Let's get started with the doubts first because we
Yeah.
have a lot of topics today.
Yeah. So I have like two, three things. So like when I was going through the videos, there were things like candidate and pre-hire.
Yeah,
So is there any other term in recruiting module apart from these two, candidate and pre-hire?
there's prospect, right?
Yes.
And
So yeah, I want to know the difference between all like prospects is somebody like of course it's a candidate who is external and we have never interacted with him or her and he wants
Mhm.
to apply to a job like for a job that we are posting.
Okay, yeah, correct. And
And
whenever a prospect applies, he becomes the candidate or active candidate, you can say. Okay, and
oh,
after going through certain stages, when he reaches the offer and agreement stage, he can be called as a pre-hire as well. He's a candidate also at that stage, but we can call him as a pre-hire because most probably he will be there in the organization for sure. So some of his data will be collected at a pre-hire stage and will be stored in Workday forever. So pre-hire and
yeah,
candidate are similar terms, but
yeah,
okay.
right.
But Shilpa, then what is the difference between pre-hire and hire?
Pre-hire is still in the job application BP. Once he's selected for ready for hire, then his hiring process will start. And once the hiring process is completed, he will be hired. Okay, then he will be considered as a hired person.
Yeah.
Uh, so are
Means
you
that is
saying
not.
once the offer is received and accepted by once the offer is given to a person, he becomes a pre-hire, and once he accepts the offer, he becomes a hire?
No. He will become higher only when he is moved forward to ready for hire stage. Before that, he is a pre-hire slash candidate only.
Okay, okay. And when will a hire become an employee?
Uh, so what happens after we select him for ready for hire stage? Then hiring business process will trigger. It will contain certain steps. Once those steps are completed, then he will be an employee. And that
Okay.
is part of HCM. Our recruitment stops when we give the organization a particular candidate who is ready for hire. So,
Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
got it, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay, so let's get started by recalling what was segment-based security group. So, this group gives restricted access of a particular domain to one or more security groups. Okay, by restricted access, we means the segments which were created for a particular domain. And what were the security groups? Role or user based. Okay, so what all kind of restricted access or segments we have discussed in recruitment, which most probably will be there always. One is job application. So we created one segment-based security group in which we gave the access of only external job applications to manager. Okay, so over here for this particular domain, segments were created on the basis whether the candidate is external or internal. Okay, and these were by default present in the workday. So some segments are present in Workday by default and some we can create. The second type of restricted access we discussed was of questionnaires. Who will be able to see the questionnaires responses? Okay, and we created segments on the basis of stages, job application stages. So for each stage, we generally have questionnaires. So which all security groups will be able to access the questionnaires based on the stage of the job application. So we have seen there was some already created workday defined segments as well for this, right? Then the third one was of who will be able to access. basically view the assessment results. And we created segments. We didn't create it as it was not there in the tenant, but they are created on the basis of categories, behavior, aptitude, like that. Okay. Now, after that, we discuss the recruiting overflow. What happens? Okay, from scratch, creation of job requisition till moving the candidate till ready for hire over here. So this is what included in recruitment. Then we have seen some segmented securities for job application based on the means who will be able to see the job application details based on the stage. So these are also some by default segments created by the Workday. Why we are discussing all these? Because the clients generally ask for such kind of requirement, and we have to go into these segments and we should know the details about these segments. Okay. Now, so in the last class, we started discussing about job application business process. Okay, we have seen how it is a dynamic business process. There are various stages, and within each stage, we can include various steps. Okay, and then we have seen disposition section as well, which involve what all reasons we can give to the candidate when he is declined, right? Now, we also know for each stage, there will be a separate business process. Okay, so we will start with assessment stage. So we will go into the tenant and see the business process for assessment. Okay, now someone has asked me how we can set the time limit or deadline for the recruiters to perform a certain action. So on the job application BP, we cannot, because it is a very different dynamic BP where we didn't have the option of putting in the deadlines. But for individual stages, we can do so. How? Let's see.
So Shilpa,
Mm-hmm.
so this is okay. So we like earlier you mentioned, right? We only have two business processes in the recruiting
Mm-hmm.
domain, right? Only two of them are there. We're discussing the second one now.
No, not the second one. Two in general, majorly are there. But you
Okay.
know, in Workday, everything is a sub process generally. And
Ah,
we
yeah.
have discussed that each segment is a sub process on its own. Okay, so this was what job application BP looked like,
Okay.
right? So we had different stages. So assessment is one of the stage. Over there, we included what all possible uh, stages can be present over here. Okay, so if let's suppose interview is conducted, okay, then recruiter will take care of this interview. Similarly, assessment. What is an assessment? What is the difference between questionnaire and assessment? Any idea?
Assessments are like, different type of like behavioral and aptitude,
Mm-hmm.
those
Okay.
questions
To
basically. And
test the
questionnaires
person
general
basically
question,
by asking a few
personality.
problematic questions or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think questionnaires are used to find out the information from the candidate.
Yeah.
Like,
So
uh,
questionnaires may or may not include scores, but assessment always includes score,
yeah.
right? And questionnaires are basically for comparison of candidates. Assessment are for qualifying purpose. Okay. So let's see default definition for assess BP. So when this business process is executed, okay, whenever we move a candidate to assessment stage in the recruiting process, or what happens in the job requisition itself, there's an option of attaching an assessment. So some companies, what they ask, when a candidate applies to a job requisition, he has to definitely go through some assessment test before starting of any stages. Okay, so this business process is executed or triggered 2 times: when we move the candidate to assessment stage, or when the candidate applies for a job using an external career site. Okay, so over here, as you can see, there are only 2 steps present here, but we also have the option of attaching 2 more options over here. So what this business process gives in total, it creates, whenever this is triggered, it creates an assessment event, which includes the occurring of some assessment. Then this BP sets the status to assessment. It means it gives the result of the assessment, results, whether passed, failed, or pending, something like that. And it also sends an inbox notification to the assigned role for the configured step. So in this case, who will be the person who is assigned? Either initiator or recruiter. Okay. So let's get started with the first type of step. This is assess candidate. So what it does, enables recruiters to select the recruitment test the candidate takes. So whenever this step is triggered, the recruiter will get a notification for selecting the type of assessment we want to select for this particular job requisition. Okay. Then okay, integration is not there. So there's an option of integration, which is very common when we are working in a project. So what integration does, it enables a third party vendor to administer one or more assessment tests. Okay, let's suppose Workday has to conduct, let's suppose any company has to conduct any assessment, then it integrates with third party. Like for campus recruitment, we generally have aspirant as the third party. Okay, similarly, there are various third party who takes the responsibility of conducting the exam and also sometimes giving the result. Then the third one is take candidate assessment. Okay, this is also a very important step. As the name suggests, it enables recruiters to send the take assessment task to external candidates, home account, or internal candidate, or a non-worker. Okay, it gives the notification for the assessment. Then the fourth and the most important one is make assessment decision. This is a completion step. It is mandatory, and once this is executed, it means this particular BP is completed. Okay, we have to make it complete. See, over here it is completed. So it defines whether the person will be failed, passed, pending. We will see how. Okay, now over here, as you can see, this is a normal BP, so due date is present. So due date defines for how many days this particular task can be executed. Okay, so recruiter will keep on getting the message that 1 day is due or today is the last day to complete this particular step. So like this, the deadlines are defined. So this is a normal BP, that's why we have this option. But on job application BP, we cannot on hold. Okay. So what all tasks are included in this during assessment? So we have seen assessments have categories, right?
Yeah.
So first, we generally have very common categories. So if client wants to include something very different, we can edit over here. We have aptitude, behavior, then we can also add communication. Mm, this is not mandatory, but we should add it over here. Then we can also add general. Then we can also add medical. So such kind of categories are there, which are in general for every assessment kind. So we will click on OK. We will see the categories. Then we will look into the assessment test. So the test name is behavioral typing test, or we can include like personality. Now this is the work of recruiter. What all test he will include for the personality case, okay? That he has to do it offline, not on workday. This only provides the framework, okay? Then in some cases reading, then very important leadership. He can conduct GDs or any such kind of activities in order to test this. Then verbal reasoning, numerical reasoning. Okay, such kind of test he can include. And similarly, he has to attach some category as well to him, to that. So he can include like quantitative, verbal. So it will be communication, leadership. Okay, leadership. Let's include it in behavior, reading. Reading, we can do it in communication.
General.
Yeah.
Behavior.
Oh, so sorry. Okay, only one category can be selected. Skill could be included in aptitude, let's say. Okay, we'll click on OK.
And these categories, Shilpa, they are not like specific, right, to any person for that matter, right? It's like it stays in the workday for anybody to use.
Yeah, throughout the client's tenant, everyone can see that these are the only categories defined, and accordingly the work is done.
Okay,
If
we can
candidates,
keep adding them. We
Sorry.
can keep adding them.
yeah, we can edit them.
Okay.
And Shilpa, the integration system there, what does it mean? Is it
Okay, yeah. The integration means if we want to include a certain third type of party to be there. So I don't think so.
okay? The same thing which you explained before in the BP, right?
Yeah, integration system. Yes,
Oh,
yes, correct.
okay.
No items are there. We can create it, but that is a very complex thing. And
Okay. Okay.
system ID, we need a lot of information for that. Okay, just we have this option of also including the third party system. I
So
wanted
that
to tell.
someone else can conduct a test on
Yes.
behalf of the company.
Yeah, like yeah, absolutely. He will get all the required information that this has to be started, and we want
Oh,
to test for this category quantitative. Then it is the responsibility of third party to conduct, to include all those question sets and give the results also sometimes. Okay.
okay. Okay. And Shilpa, are we responsible for doing this integration system in the, what do you say, in the industry, or does the integration team take care of that?
Uh, Generally, we get the third party template and everything prepared. We only have to populate it in our
Oh, oh,
that field. Okay.
oh, okay.
All
Oh,
those information regarding third party will be set by integration most probably. And if not, then the client will tell us step by step. But that
okay.
is a very big complex thing. I just wanted you to tell this is also a feature.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then after selecting the test, defining the test, okay, we can define the status, assessment status. See over here, you can assign. So this status name, okay, so sorry. This status name is defined either by the third party or by the workday itself. Okay, so field overall status, and we can include something like incomplete or reassess or something like require review. Okay, generally these kind of categories are included. So this is not a particular business process defined, it is for throughout the tenant. Now we have some other tasks as well. So these are the tasks on which we work for the assessment part. So this is a report. Okay, so this is sort of a task, sorry. So what happened generally in job requisition, we have the option of assigning a assessment, but if it is not included, then we can also assign it over here. To which job requisition, this assessment test will be there. And what will be the inline test? over here you can see all those test names. Let's see if we can select multiple.
What is the difference between inline and default?
You must have seen the option of allowed and default while putting the company and cost center, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
these are the default one, and specifically we want this one, this test to be conducted.
Okay.
So job requisition, let's see if any are there. Only one job rec is there throughout the system.
So
Okay,
on
so
the screen we will be able to see only the inline assessment test, is it?
yeah, means candidate will only get the leadership test, but he also has.
May get it. In the future we can change it whenever we want. We can select one of the default tests, is it?
Yeah, we can select
Okay.
any value from the default. So there might be changes in the client requirement. He wants for this particular requisition along with leadership. Let me see if I can select some other one also.
I think we cannot.
Yeah, we cannot. Only one test is there for job rec. Okay. Okay, so maybe he wants to change the category for a particular test. He can do so. Okay.
I missed that test one rule, Shilpa. What was that actually?
That was the job requisition.
Okay,
Let
we
me
want
show
to
you in a
requisition.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
The over here, the condition rule. So in condition rule, we have included this job requisition name.
I'm not getting it still actually.
Okay.
I mean
Uh,
that I mean job requisition doesn't looks like this, right?
okay.
I'm asking.
For this particular task, what we do when a job requisition doesn't have any test associated with it, through this task, we can assign a particular requisition, a particular test. So the condition over here is the job requisition. So when let's suppose if this job requisition event is into picture, then this particular test will be conducted. So
Okay.
let me see.
Final one requisition for this test basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me check if I can see. Okay, I think because I'm not logged in as a recruiter, not everyone can see the job requisition. You have to proxy as a recruiter to see that. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay, I'll search with the name for recruiter after this class and will let you know. And we'll be able to see that requisition then. Okay. We will be creating requisitions for our tenant, so you'll see that as well in future. Let's get into the next topic of view recruiting category. Obviously, let's see what all tasks and reports are there. So through view recruiting, we can see all those things in the tenant. What all categories are there, tests are there. Okay, some of them we haven't discussed yet. Agencies are there, region, dispositions, regions we can include. So you can see all the these reports are very helpful. You can just type view and recruiting and we'll see what all tasks are included in this tenant. Now, what if we want to compare candidates based on the assessment? Let me check if I have this report. This is a very important report. Okay, it's there. So for a particular job requisition, there will be many applicants, many candidates, okay, and they will be going through assessments. So how we can compare it using this report, it will be very helpful. Okay, this is one of the job rec present in the system. Okay, no candidate is there for this. Okay, no candidate are currently there in the system, but as you can see the template, the job application ID will be there, assessment status, whether pending, fail, incomplete, date, assessment comment, total score will also be included through this report, and assessment test status, date, assessment test score, again this data will be there. So through this report you can see, you can filter out whatever requirement you have, and based on that you can move forward the required candidates. Okay, so let's get back.
So people who apply to that particular job requisition will be seen there. Is it?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, they will be visible.
okay.
So we saw how we can set up assessment for candidates. Prerequisite means we have seen the security groups like right in the business process which can be included. So for them to be visible in the drop down of the security group selection list, they should be present in these two domains. Set up recruiting domain in recruiting and succession planning functional area, and staffing actions for job requisition assessments. Okay, so these two domains are important. So steps for assessment. So we first have to configure the security policy for this particular domain, candidate data, assessments results. Okay, so that those particular categories or security groups will be able to view the assessment results. Okay, then assess the candidate BP. Okay, those 4 tasks which we have discussed, right, with make assessment decision as the complete step. Okay, why is it not moving forward? Okay, possible assess BP steps which are generally included are assess candidate, integration, take candidate assessment, make assessment decisions. Task and reports discussed are recruiting categories, test, then status we define, then assessment defaults. We attach a particular requisition with a particular test. This is a very important report, compare candidate assessment report. Okay. Now let's go and check the background check business process. Okay, so the steps we will discuss. So what happens through background check BP, we can record the background check results on candidate pre-hire or worker profiles. Okay, so when the background check stage is present, means is the current stage, what happens? What this BP does? It creates a background check event. It sets the status of the candidate to background check. Then it creates a pre-hire record for the candidate as well. And it sends an inbox notification to the assigned role for the configured step. Okay, so in the assessment BP, we have seen it sets the assessment results. And in background check BP, it sets the background check status as well as it creates a pre-hire record also for the candidate. So let's get started. The background check. Biggest tasks associated with background check will come into picture. So first of all, we have to go into the packages. Okay. So what kind of background check we want to include in our job application processes? One is hourly check. Okay. Hourly background check will occur. And what all it will include the background reference ID, package description, standard background check for hourly hires. Okay. So are you able to understand what this means? Standard background check for hourly hires means every hour this background check will be triggered. Okay. And what all it will include? Employment verification, education verification, criminal check, reference check, drug test, motor vehicle driving record, credit check.
Why do we need to do that every hour, Shilpa?
Maybe when the applicants are in huge number and they want everything to be done early, then early check is the case. Then professional check, standard background check for professional hires. So it includes the basic background check information for the professional hires, employment verification, education verification, criminal check, reference check, drug test. Then PTG BG check ad hoc package. This is a custom based package, yearly package. Some background check occurs yearly also for the candidates pre-hire or non-worker. Then these are the created ones, custom created ones. Okay.
So, Shilpa, we are having many types of checks, right? Like criminal check, reference check, drug test, and all. Are there some
Mm-hmm.
the first names? Are
Mm-hmm.
we can create how we want, is it? There is no some hard and fast rule saying, or else are there any default things in the workday and we are using it?
I think we can create our
It's
own
just,
as well.
yeah, it's just a name, right? It's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
It's just
I
a
think the recruiter has to decide what all steps he will include while doing the employment verification check. For criminal check, what all details he need to check. Recruiter will decide it offline. Maybe on some document he will include the steps, but this check should be done. This workday provides the framework to install.
Okay, it's just like it's just a record that these things should be undergone, that's all.
Yes, yes. And the
Okay.
recruiter will get a notification that whether this particular check is done or not. So recruiter has to tell that yes, submitted. Then he will get a notification for education verification.
Okay.
Maybe it might ask for some details as well. Workday might ask Then he has to input that for this candidate, he got these many information, and he has to put in over there as well. We'll see just a second.
Okay.
Okay, so these two checks are very common: professional check and hourly check. These are very, very important. Let me cancel it. I won't edit anything. Then the other thing we look into is maintain background check status. So this is the result for the background check, which is defined over here. No longer applies. Maps to no longer apply. So these are workday defined. Okay, and we cannot create them. Okay, as you can see over here. So this is the status label, status name, and it maps to workday defined field. So passed, passed, pending, pending, did not pass. So these are something defined by the recruiters. But these maps to fields are defined by workday. Then restricted to overall status, package status, test status. So these three fields are workday defined as well. So where this background check will be restricted to, where we can apply this to: overall status, package status, test status.
I'm not getting what does that overall status and test status mean?
So what happens, for some steps in the background check as well, there might be some test included. Okay, so in order to give this particular label for the test status, we will include this
Okay.
option. If we
Okay.
want to include it for the package status, so package include various tests in it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So for a particular package, if we want to give it, then we have to include this option. And overall status of the candidate, if we want to include in that, then this field is.
Okay. And overall status means it takes the results of the package status and test status and then create its overall status?
Absolutely, you got it.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Then we have one more task: maintain background check package condition rules. So who will be able to go through this package? It is defined over here. Okay. So depending upon the job application type or stage or details, whatever, this particular package will be available. Okay, professional check. We can create our own one, let's suppose. We can include like if the worker is contingent worker or on contractual basis. Worker type. Comparison value could be okay, so I have changed that particular job application rule. So if the work is contract based, then this background check will occur. Similarly, based on job application details, it could be of the worker, of the stage, or any field in the job application or job requisition like profile, location, or compensation related or management related, anything such kind of rules could be applied over here. And what kind of background check package he will go through, it will be defined over here. Let me cancel this, I won't change anything here. Okay, just a second, I need to check something. Okay, so these three are the domains where the security group should be attached to. First one is background check history, who will be able to see the history of a particular candidate. Okay, then pre-hire data background check status. So the background check done for pre-hires, who will be able to see the status for those. So through this domain, it will give the security group that access. Then background check, simply who will be able to access the details regarding background checks that will be given through this domain. Okay. Then configure the background check BP. Now let's go and see what it includes.
You missed N there in ground.
So these two are the most general steps. Select background check overall status. Okay, and make background check decision. Background check event has package. That package will be automatically triggered, and it will give us the status as well. Means when we select this particular step, it will automatically redirect to a particular package, and after going through the background check, it will also give us the overall status. Then make background check decision. So in this step, it will be decided by the recruiter whether the candidate will be moved forward to the next stage or whether he will be declined. He has 2 days. So whenever he will be getting the inbox notification to carry out the step, within 2 days he has to perform it. Okay, and this is a completion step again.
So Shilpa, are the steps like predefined? We can use only these three steps to configure background check BP? Because the same way you have even
I
shown
think
assessment BP, there are just 4 steps there.
4 step in general used in recruitment, but there were many, right? So let's see similarly for these two. See, automatically unpost job candidates.
Okay, and we need not create this, right? It's like we can use what all are there.
Yeah. These are generally given Workday defined. Workday can only install them. So as you can see, only make background check decision and select background check. These two are only relevant. Rest are not generally included. Okay.
Okay.
Then the task and reports for background check are to create packages, to maintain status, to maintain package condition rules, and employment background check status summary. This is the report in order to, check the status summary for multiple candidates. Okay, currently nothing is there. It gives generally the total score of it, whether pass, failed, whatever, for the pre-hire, okay? Now there are certain features which Workday provides, like automatically decline a candidate's remaining job application. Let me go here. Automatically decline a candidate's remaining job application. So what happened? Let's suppose for one organization, a candidate has applied to various positions. So this features gives the access to the recruiters that if a person is hired, if a candidate is hired for a particular job, then all his remaining job applications will be declined automatically. Okay, is it clear? Is this functionality?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so how we can do so? Let's see in the tenant. First step, we need to take care of maintain recruiting disposition. So this will include all the reasons by which he can be rejected or a candidate can decline. Okay, like candidate not interested. Then this maps to Workday defined field, which includes decline by candidate, does not meet job qualification, rejected, failed background check, rejected, unable to contact candidate, declined by candidate, declined offer. Okay, so over here, by which all reasons we can automatically decline other job application. How we can specify that? By checking this particular checkbox, disposition remaining jobs. Okay, so means all these reasons can be included for declining the remaining jobs, but ideally we can create one more. Candidate is hired. This is generally included, that this reason is used generally for declining other job applications for the candidate. Okay.
But Shilpa, this is not a condition to trigger something, right? How can this law can be used to, what do you say, reject the applications?
Okay, I will show you. This was just the reason.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we'll include it in one of the VPs, right? That is how
Yes.
it's come into effect. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So what happens? Defining this particular disposition under review will allow us to decline the job application in the review stage. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All the job applications in the review stage will be declined automatically if someone is hired, if the same candidate is hired for some other job application. And how that will be triggered, how automatically it will be declined, I'll show you that also. Let's suppose if we want to decline a particular candidate who is hired already for some other job requisition, we can include over here as well. So we have to mention this separately for each and every stage. See, so over here, a candidate can be declined in the reference check only using this reason. Okay, so if we want to include some other reason, and what is the last and most important thing for this thing to occur? We will add a sub-process called decline remaining jobs in the ready for hire business process. Okay, so let me check. Okay, currently no reply. Let me check this one. Okay, everyone is taking initiation, but generally there are certain steps involved for hiring a particular candidate. So as the last step of ready for hire, we will include the sub-process decline remaining jobs. Okay, so let's suppose if a particular candidate is going through all the steps of the hire BP, then he will go into the decline remaining jobs step as well as the last step. So what will happen? All his other job applications associated will be declined automatically through that BP. And the reasons can be fetched what we have included in the disposition section. Okay, this BP is not present. It automatically triggers and deletes or dissociates all the job applications. Okay. it's not loading. So you understood, right, how it will be triggered?
Yeah.
See, this is the higher BP present. It will, a particular candidate will go through all these steps, and at the end we can include our step of declining remaining job. Let me show. Okay, it's not there in the system right now. Mhm. It's not there. It comes under action only, and we just have to type in here decline candidate. No, this is not correct. Okay, it's not there. But you know, right? Over here, when we will add that option, it will be triggered automatically. And the reason we have maintained it in the disposition section. The next part. So what were the steps? We first maintain recruiting disposition, then add in the business process, ready for higher business process, the declining remain jobs BP as the last. It has to be included as the last step always. Okay. Then add the disposition you created in step 1 to the possible disposition section of each stage where you want Workday to close a hired candidate's remaining job. So for generally all stages you have to mention it explicitly, not only by giving it in one stage. It will be possible to give the reasons, because what happens, a recruiter will get a notification to approve the declining of the remaining jobs. So he has to give a particular reason over there. So that reason will only populate if we add it in the job application BP. Okay. Now the next feature is automatically advance or decline candidates. Okay. So by this, what it means? Any idea? It means the recruiter doesn't have to, manually move the candidate from one stage to another. Automatically, it will be either advanced, means move to next stage, or declined. So how that is possible? The prerequisite is we have to prepare the required reasons. Then these security domains should be present in the system functional area. I think that will be present. You don't have to worry. But these two should be there. Okay. So how we can do it? We first have to create a condition row. Access the business process, select toggle, access business application, and configure this. Now let's get started. So I won't be going into the maintain recruiting disposition step again. Okay.
Hmm.
What I'll do, I'll just go to the PP. Over here you can see the option of configure automatic stage routing. So in your certification also you must have seen this feature, right? We can route a particular step to some other security group. Similarly, over here we can automatically advance or decline a candidate. So before doing this, what we need to do, let's suppose if we are doing some changes in the assessment, like for the assessment stage, let's suppose from here we want to move him forward to the next stage, or if we want to decline him, then first we need to go to the BP of assessment. Where you can see toggle automatic stage routing. So over here, what we have done, we have enabled automatic stage routing. Okay, so we need to enable it before configuring it in our BP. Okay, so for all the stages other than review, we have to enable it on the step other than the initiation step. Okay, let me click on done. Let's go back to the assessment stage. Let's click on configure automatic stage routing. We have to create rules over here. Let's see if they are present. Okay, create a condition rule like require sponsorship. If at this stage, assessment stage, we got to know that he requires sponsorship. Okay, we will just ask a normal question. Require push. Then the step which will be included, possible next step, possible disposition. So we can define over here whether to which next step he will be moved to. Let's suppose from assessment we can move him to offer. If the answer to this requisition this question is no, or we can also, so generally for require sponsorship we will keep only one answer, whether no or yes. If he will say yes, then we can decline him over here only. And so we need to create over here the disposition reasons. Okay. Let me go to this. Similarly, we can create one more for require sponsorship. If no, if yes is the answer, then we can decline him with a particular reason which we have to first define in the maintain disposition section. Okay, so this particular rule will be considered when a particular applicant is moving to this particular stage. Automatic next stage. So what will happen when a candidate is in assessment stage? All his actions will be conducted, and once they are conducted, it will go to the automatic next stage section, and he will see what all rules are there, and he will go through the first rule which is present in the table, and if it is satisfying, then he will neglect all the other rules present and he will only execute this one and he will move forward. Okay. So what we did, condition rule should be created first, but what we started with, we went to the business process and we enabled the automatic stage routing. After enabling it, we went to the job application VP, went to the assessment section and created our own rule and configured the automatic stage routing. Now, the last option, last feature which is used is automatically decline candidates for fill jobs. Let's suppose a lot of candidates are there for one requisition, and if that requisition is filled, then all the remaining candidates will be automatically declined. How we can do that? First of all, security move candidate domain should be present in the recruiting functional area. You cannot make any changes in the functional area for sure, right? So you have to ask the higher authority if this particular domain is not there. You have to inform them, include them. Tell them to include it, only then you will be able to add this feature. It's not your duty to go and edit this functional area. Okay, so how we can do it automatically? So there is one BP, sub BP called decline remaining candidates batch process, which we have to include as the last step for the ready for hire. Like we did for automatically declining candidates other job application, similarly over here we have to include this BP, sub BP step in the ready for hire BP. Okay, and then we have to maintain some reasons also. We can do so by going through into this task. Okay, so what happens When you move a candidate to ready for hire stage and there are no more open positions on the job requisition, what Workday does, it identifies all other candidates who applied to the job requisition using this BP. Okay, and then Workday declines their active job applications and closes their job application events. Okay, so you just have to add this Workday defined BP in your ready for hire step. Now, while maintaining the dispositions, you have to check this particular option. Maintain disposition remaining candidates. If we click on this checkbox, only then these reasons will populate in our job application. Okay. Is it clear or is it quite out of the head? So let's suppose a particular requisition is filled, okay, for a particular candidate A, and there are certain candidates B, C, D, E who are in different stages. Their applications are in different stages. So we have to add that disposition reason in each and every segment, okay, so that the candidate will come to know for who is present in each and every stage, okay. So this was all about today's session.